Hey, what is up, everyone? It's Rich. All right, welcome to a review. Michael Emeritz wanted me to check out his work, and we're gonna do it. I've mentioned this before, so this is a Patreon tier. But if people want to share the work online and the review online, I'm totally cool with that. It actually adds a little pressure on me because it's like, I mean, I always take these very seriously, but when you know you're doing a review and people are going to review your review, you really are like, all right, I need to be on my game, like super tight, which I always try to be. But so we're going to read the letter really quick. So this will be a little bit longer. But anyway, hey, Rich, thank you so much for taking the time to look at my work. I really appreciate you doing this. I'll save you the backstory and just skip ahead to where I'm at now and where I'd like to be. And maybe you can help me figure out where I fall on the spectrum and what I need to do to get on the right track. I'm mostly self taught, took a long break, but now I'm grinding at everything for about 5 years. I'm starting to get requests for commissions, which is great. I'm also getting tapped by other smaller indie creators to be a penciler, designer, or cover artist, but none have come through yet. I can relate. I can work pretty quickly. That's really good. Speed will help you get work. Speed and reliability are just huge assets for artists to have, and to be like a nice person who's easy to contact. If you're communicative, that really helps. So after thumbnails, it takes me between 1 to 3 days to pencil a page. Same for inking and coloring. It really depends on what I need to draw and how clear of a plan I have. So 1 to 3 days to pencil a page isn't super fast, but I don't know how many hours that means. And you may not have full days to draw, but there's no timeline for when you have to have a page done, to be clear. So I don't want to freak anyone out. If it takes you 5 days or 7 days to draw a piece, or 2 weeks to draw a piece, that's fine. You want the quality to match the effort. If you're learning, don't even concern yourself with any of that stuff. The time doesn't matter. What's most important is to learn. So you know, I would say an average comic book page should take you somewhere between 5 and 15 hours to do for pencils, and maybe even 3 hours, but 3 to 15 hours I think is a good target. And it just depends on the level of complexity of your art. Blah 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 blah. A million things can sort of affect that. And if you start teetering into the over like 15 to 30 hours a page, you if you're real serious about getting work and you're spending that much time, and you feel like you're close to getting work, this is the caveat to this, is if you're close to getting work and it takes you 15 to 30 hours, the stuff really is going to need to look exceptional. Only because if you're spending that much time, it's going to have to be worth waiting for an editor. You know what I'm saying? Is like, if you draw at a level of Olivier Coipel or Art Germ, and you tell them, hey, it takes me 5 days to do a piece, they'll be more tolerant of that. So you have to be realistic of your ability. But again, if you're just learning and you're spending 15 to 30 hours on a page, that's fine, because it's more about the process. So goal wise, it's hard for me to pin down exactly how I fit into the industry, because all of my goals have to do with just making the best art that I can make at this point. But I want to start thinking more about a real career in comics. I just don't know if I'm at that level yet, or if I'm not, how far off am I, or where to even begin to go down that road. I've seen your work. You're pretty far along, I think. But right now, I know I need more pages under my belt, as do we all, and so I'm working on my own comics starting January. I know I still have a long way to go to get to that level I want to be at, but like McFarlane says, you don't have to be better than the best guy on the team. You just have to be better than the guy on the bench. I love Todd. Todd has got some great perspective on it, and his story is so amazing because of the amount of success that he had, and then just how many times he was turned down. I don't know many people that could take that many rejections. 500 or 650 rejection letters over who knows how many years, and the dude stuck to his guns and got in and became one of the hugest guys ever in the business. It's pretty incredible. But if we're talking lofty dream goals, I could die happy even just doing a few fill-in pages on a Batman book someday. Maybe even one of those Target exclusive promos or something. That's what I'm working on Batman Walmart stories with Ryan Benjamin. They're fun. They're 16 pagers and they're bi-monthly, and it's a fun way to work on Batman. And they're usually fun stories. Dude, I would take a Batman Target book. Who cares? It's Batman. It's what you do with it, and then that gets you in other editors' minds. You know, they see the samples, and you know, you could show them to any company. That's the thing is, if you have decent sample pages, I know the companies generally will say that they want to see their characters, but if just on a cold call is different because you're approaching them out of the blue, and it would be kind of weird to send like a Marvel editor a bunch of like DC samples or whatever, you know what I mean, something that wasn't their company. But if you cross paths with someone and you say, hey, I draw comics, and they go, oh, do you have sequentials? And you have sequentials, those are the kind of scenarios where just having good work will be you know, an asset to you. So thanks again, really appreciate this. Yeah, no problem, Mike. It's my pleasure. So let's see what we got here. Oh, this is nice, dude. You're crazy. You could totally do professional work right now. This is, see, I know because I've been to your Patreon page. Your like banner is great art. This is really nice, dude. I mean, there's honestly, there's really nothing that I would critique on this, as funny as that sounds. And I'm not trying to like step anything, but I wish it was a little bigger. Oops, let me go back. This is great. Like, this is a really, really cool perspective shot. This is beautiful. The framing, I know exactly where to look. I know exactly what kind of environment I'm in. I mean, this is all sprawling. I mean, this is a fantastic panel. I love this like kind of curvilinear sort of perspective that you have going on. This is all really cool. You've got a great style. It's super consistent. You know, it's distorted. Like, I've seen books at DC and Marvel that have this type of art. So where you might come into trouble, we'll go over the page first, and then I'll show you where you may want to like tweak things a little bit if you're really looking to get work there. But I mean, I think that if you really showed this stuff around, I mean, you would start to gather fans. This is nice. She's cute. It's like her face is attractive, and everything's in proportion. You've got nice clothes. This is really cool. It's a little stiff, this shot, the dead on shot. I mean, you've got such interesting camera angles. This could have maybe been a little tiny bit more dynamic, and it's also kind of small. So it's like it looks like a pretty intense shot. Like I'm not saying that that would need to be a splash page, but this is pretty exciting. And it could have been the script too, but I almost want to see more of this right away. It's such a like impressive sort of idea, but you know, it could be a lot of different things that made you choose this. And I really do like how you have these open areas, you know, throughout, like where like the trees kind of sprawl through here, and this is nice. It's really, really nicely laid out. This is really cool. So this is where I'll get a little tiny bit picky, is like the way that you draw this guy is cool, but it could be a little cooler. I think it's solid. That hand's great. But these types of drawings can look a little stiff, but if it's your style, it's your style. This is a little more dynamic. There's a little more like less blockiness. Like his head is very blocky, and it's fine, but like it makes me think of think of how maybe someone like Joe Madureira would handle like a little something like this. Like, Joe uses really distorted shapes that are pretty like exaggerated, but Joe keeps a lot of energy. It gets a little stiff. It's the thickness of the line weight on stuff too. Is everything is really, really a thick line, and usually I wouldn't you know, point that out, but that heaviness of a line will slow down your drawing. So it could even be something as simple as that. As it might not so much be the structure of his head, because this looks really nice. Like, this is a great profile. This is really, really good too. I think it could just be the thickness of your line is making these stand out quite a bit. So, because I think you have very fine lines over everything else, and he gets real heavy. He's heavy here and he's heavy here. So, and the line weights get a little heavy. Okay, let's go to this next page. This is nice too. Damn, dude. Well, I don't understand why you think that you have such a long way to go. I mean, everyone can improve, but I mean, this is great. This panel shot is great. I think you'll see in the comments if people comment on this video, but I mean, this is good stuff. Again, I think that this guy's face is like a tiny bit your Achilles heel on this stuff. If I'm trying to be really picky because the stuff is so nice, but I think maybe a little nuance. This hand isn't as good as some of the other hands that you drew, but this is nice. Like, this is a tricky angle to draw a fist at. You know, you're not shying away from anything. This is really good. This is really cool. This is a great shot right here. I love this face. She's always really cute. This is a nice panel. And again, I love the bleed with this stuff behind it. I think looks really, really cool, and I love the perspective on the shot. You've got it like it's like dripping down or drooping down. Even this is like like it feels curvilinear, and this is just fantastic. It's really good. This is really cool. Madureira, speaking of Joe, is like the master of the silhouette on his panels, on his pages. Excuse me. I always love that with Joe's work. But yeah, everything looks really, really good. Just be a little careful with this guy's face. And that's great. The fact that you can draw this much stuff, and that's the only thing that I can really say probably you could elevate, and it would really pay big dividends. And it's just faces like this. If you ever see yourself drifting into this sort of thing, think more like this. And it's not even just that this has an expression. There's just like a little bit more of a delicacy, like a delicate approach. Not delicacy as in food. But yeah, he gets a little heavy. But if that's your style, I mean, like the Rat Fink sort of, we used to call it Bigfoot style, but meaning Bigfoot like cartoony, you know, like they have bigger feet generally when you draw characters like this. You know, I've seen a lot of art that looks like this, like poster art and pop art and sort of like lowbrow. So, I mean, it's definitely a style that I'm aware of, and it can work. So, if you like it, then just go with it. And other than that, I think these look great. So let's see what else you've got here. Oh, this is really cool too. Yeah, this is nice. Great style. Dude, you're talented. Talented and hard work, right? We all can't just chalk it up to talent. There's always effort involved. This is nice. But I could see how this evolved into that, you know, because you have the thicker lines here. It's like more of an indie style, and then this has like you're starting to move more into like more fine detailed stuff, but you're still keeping a bit of this, which could be a great blend. I mean, colored, you know, this stuff will look good, and your grays on this stuff I think are nice too. Yes, this is cool. Yeah, really, really good. I mean, you're an excellent comic book artist, I think. You know, no problem with any of this stuff. We'll go through these just real quick, and then I'll try to get like hyper sort of picky if I can even do it. Yes. I mean, I could picture this in like one of those Alan Moore books, you know, where they do like the America's Best Comics, where they would do like lots of different short stories. Yeah, this is really cool. This almost has like a tiny bit of a Jack Kirby vibe to me, but the rest of it doesn't. But just I like stuff like this. I think it's fun. Just the big shapes. This is cool. This is all really good. I love the like stylization that you did on the taxi. Like it's like I immediately feel like I'm in a little bit of a future world. This is a nice touch. I mean, like we're looking for cues in the art, you know, that tell us where the story takes place. You know, and you're delivering them. This is nice. This gets a little tiny bit flat right here. You've got such a nice perspective on everything else. This looks a little bit like a cardboard cutout. It's not bad, but it's like you almost could have just done like a straight on shot of it. I think turning it the little bit that you did, it almost feels like it's like a little bit of a tangent here. It's touching this panel border, which is making me feel like it's almost coming out of the border. So it feels a little awkward. I'd almost like if you made it bigger and it just filled up like all this space, it would actually be kind of cool with like you see the lights, you see the grill, you see the tires, but it's like just overwhelming this taxi. Your sizes are all the same, but I know that that's kind of part of this type of style that everything is approximately like this height, like everything is kind of feeling like that. But it works for this style, so I get it. This is really good. This is cool. Again, this gets a little tiny bit flat right here. It's you're so good with perspective, but it's like this is what I've been saying in the perspective things that I've been doing is sometimes something is accurate, but it looks weird in a drawing. Like this might be perspective spot on, but there's sometimes things that are technically correct that just don't look right in a drawing. And I think if you had this at a little bit of a different angle, it would look better. It just feels almost like it feels a little like a cardboard cutout, and it almost feels like I know it's they're getting sort of hit. You need to either play it up more or pick just a slightly different angle. But I get what's going on, and I also think for whatever reason them hugging the panel border so close is a little funky. But again, I'm trying to give you feedback that can make the stuff better. These aren't the crime of the century. What I'm pointing out, the perspective here gets off. You see the like, it's like the road and that vehicle do not look like they're on the same plane. This is really like got like a drop to it, and then this is more flat. So you want to watch that. I would have made the road more at the perspective of the car and not had it have this weird sort of slope. Do. This is all really cool. The designs are neat. They're fun. This is nice. Great gesture on this guy too. Really, really good. This is cool. This is cool. I like this guy. He looks like Dave Johnson. No. And kind of like stuff that Dave Johnson would draw a little bit. Yeah, this is cool. It's really good. Yeah, there's nothing on this page that really stands out to me as weird. Great symbolism. You know, you've got your icons, you know, like it's like this is so simple, but it's so everything fits in this world. This is nice. This is cool. This feels a little, it's kind of dropping again. It's doing that thing. It's not bad. And they could be on a bit of a hill. Maybe they are. This is all really cool. Yeah, great job. Okay, so let's see what else we got. Miscellaneous comic strips. Cool. This is fun. Oh, that's nice. Dude. His head gets a little weird right here. Like, I guess it's his cheek, or is it his other ear? It's hard to tell. It's like if the line was closed and maybe a little bit of the ear was poking out, it would look better. It's his head is a little distorted. It's not bad, but this is great. So it reminds me a little bit of Seth Fisher's work. I loved Seth's art. He died way too young. This is cool. That's awesome. This is great. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, this is cool. Nice. His hand is a little sausagey. This is nice though. Colors are cool too. That's cool. Yeah, that's really cool. Should do some more of these. They're pretty fun. That's nice. All the text and stuff that you put on it. I mean, I'm assuming that's probably done like in a program. It still looks good. Maybe it's hand drawn though. Who knows? This is cool. So this looks like maybe it's older stuff. Yeah, you've improved a lot. You know, whatever you're doing, stick to it because this is like way better. The stuff is way better than this. And this stuff isn't bad, but this looks like, you know, someone that's maybe been drawing for a year or two. You know, this is cool. That's nice. Yeah, just keep at it, dude. Very, very cool, man. So I hope that that helps you. You know, you've made like a huge improvement from this era. I mean, look at this. Oops, I wasn't sure if I could blow it up. I mean, there's nothing wrong with this, but again, this just looks like early comic book drawings. You know, someone that's into it, it's definitely been practicing, is getting better, is got the courage to actually do pages. But I mean, when you like, and then this is a real interesting evolution from that era, and then this is just like, dude, I mean, you're bringing it. So it's only going to get better with this amount of effort. It will only bring you great things. That's just the bottom line. You work your drawing muscles and your mind at this level, it's all good. It's great, great effort. So, all right, have a great day and best of luck with your work. And I'll see you on Patreon. And YouTubers, smash the like. Please come over to Patreon. And that is all. All right, later.